after that attack. Can he actually take it?
Yeah, I mean, here's what I think, right? We're going to see him throw down the Spire. He's going to go with probably like 2 base Muta, I guess, at this point to make sure, well, hey, you know, I get some drops down, and that's going to be really bad. But Thorzain,
let's push.
He is going to have a pretty massive push. So keep in mind, there's only, what, 2 Roaches out. There's no real Banelings there. He's going to morph in a couple. If he gets a jump on these Zerglings with the Hellions, he's going to be in great shape, but it's not happening quite yet. Here comes the rest of the Bioforces. Thorzain's looking to punish him for that super early aggression.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. He's now forced to spend extra gas and minerals on Roaches. This is the last thing he wants to be making right now. So even if Thorzain backs out, that's going to buy more time. Uh-oh, where are the Hellions? There they are. They did decide to go around the other way, almost leaving those units exposed, but these 11 Roaches, they're probably not going to be that useful by the time they walk out across the map. They're not going to be able to finish the job, I don't think, as far as killing Thorzain outright. It might be a different story once the Mutas themselves are out, but Thorzain definitely trying to bait more and more extra units here out of Killer.
Yeah, he hasn't even made the Mutas yet, and he's banking 1,000, so I'm not sure, maybe... Nope, there's the 10 Mutas right there. So the only thing I wish I would be seeing out of Killer is also Burrow. I think in a situation where you're trying to fight with a minimal amount of units, you get that one Baneling hit, and it really does help you in that situation. So right now, Killer is supply block. He's advancing forward. Here he's going to go in yet again for another attack. Try to bring the Banelings in this time. But as you mentioned, that Terran passive ability to kite prevents that from happening.
Yeah, now right now, though, Thorzain might really struggle versus these Mutas. 12 Mutas are on the field. I think they may have got spotted there, and Thorzain does have a rather healthy Marine count at 17, but the Widow Mines, I think, are really going to be what turns it into his favor if he can get some good detonations. Otherwise, he's going to really struggle versus these Mutas because they're out in force, and also 10, 12 drones behind it, and the Widow Mine doesn't even get burrowed there. He needed that Widow Mine so badly. One missile turret here, but it's not guarding the right side.
And he is going to try to get, well, one Muta does go down. I feel like Thorzain had the right idea to put those Widow Mines around the structures that the Mutas want to go ahead and try to take out. Muta's going a little bit too far in. They're still getting some Bioforces down below. One man just escaped into that bunker, but he's stopped the third now. Thorzain forced to 2 bases off of this, wasn't able to capitalize on that aggression, and now finds himself down in a base.
Yeah, you know it really sucks too without the medevacs. These Marines, I mean, they've got like 1 stem in them left before they're just going to be cannon fodder for these Mutalisks, especially with the glaives bouncing around. And anyways, we'll see exactly what Killer can actually do here with these Mutas. Not sure that he even needs to do all that much more. Thorzain, you can see a little bit scared at his natural. He does have 3 bunkers there behind a pseudo supply wall. And yeah, you can see on the vision there of Thorzain just trying to keep up with these Mutas, trying to keep them away while he waits for those drilling claws.
And behind this, we're seeing pretty much what we saw in the last game. This time, Killer decided to go with that Ling Bane Muta style. This time, though, he got his initial Mutas out, and he has kept those initial Mutas. So while we haven't seen him build too many more, and there he's going to build 3. So this time, instead of just stopping, or at least getting to that number and then stopping, he is going to continue to add on to here. Baneling speed is on the way. I believe it's done now. I'm going to double check that. Yes, it is all done now. And do we have Burrow yet? No, we don't have Burrow. I just don't understand, especially at Hatchery Tech, why every Zerg just doesn't use and abuse that.
Several Marines going to get taken out here. It looks like Thorzain will hang on for now, especially now that he has the medevacs out. Can finally begin healing up those units, but the Roaches now might actually prove to be really effective here at taking out those Marines. Lots of Zerglings on the field here, as Thorzain's going to have a hell of a time holding this off, especially after losing 5 Marines there to a group of Zerglings. This army in the middle of the field is very vulnerable. He does go ahead and retreat out of there using that boost ability, but he's going to try and save the command center. He will get it here, but Thorzain needs a 3rd base so bad.
Oh, no. Yes, he does really bad, but we see most of those Marines going down, and suddenly the standing army of Thorzain is begun to just plummet. We take a look at the army supply. It's 65 army supply to 94 army supply. So
that's going to be tough. Now, if Thorzain has it, oh God, he's got to be so careful. He's got to get up that ramp right now. doesn't lose really anything in that engagement, but weakening those medevacs means that they will be taken out by those Mutalisks much easier. But Thorzain's going to have one of those perfect splits. He's going to have a miracle at this point, as pretty soon he's going to be going up against Hive Tech, and only off of 3 bases now, but a 4th base just finishing up here for Killer. And right now Thorzain may have overstepped just a tiny bit here. He's got to watch out for these banelings.
Oh, but that I believe there was a Widow Mine that went off there. I think killed, but did it get a shot? I believe it did. Either way, a lot of the Zerglings did manage to go down, but the Muta count's looking, oh my gosh. Anyone want mules for dinner? Because that's what we're serving. The Mutalisks say yes. Now they go into the main. And right now, Thorzain just having a tough time dealing with this Mutalisk harassment.
Yeah, I mean, normally you'll see this many Mutas in like a ZVP or something like that, but he's just got so many. The angle there wasn't the best for Thorzain, still able to scare that away, but I believe the medevac count is basically non-existent. He only has 3. They're getting low on energy, which means that these Marines are just so vulnerable. You may actually see Killer just go straight for that ball because they are so low on HP. 2 more medevacs spawning might scare that away, but when it's becoming that dicey for Thorzain, he's in trouble.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, really, a Widow Mine could be the one saving grace here for Thorzain. He's got to be very careful there. He's going to try to bait out some of these Widow Mine shots. He sees one, takes it out. There's still so many more units ready to roll in here, and here we go.
He's going to try and kill off everything. Thorzain's got to preemptively split. He's doing a pretty good job, but he has so few units and so low HP. Does manage to drop some on the high ground there, but this expansion's gone. The sensor tower, the missile turret, it is all left for dead right now. Unless Thorzain can pull a miracle right now, it's got to be tough. He does have the Widow Mines on the ramp, which will kill whatever tries to run up there or fly up there, but I don't think that's enough to buy him enough time. There's only 2 left that haven't activated just yet here, and Thorzain, when you're in a position where Zerg is constantly denying every single base you try and take with ultras on the way, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of the final units of Thorzain still continue to fall. There's a huge amount of Zerglings about ready to come in. These Zerglings are sitting on 1-1 with 2-2 on the way, but Adrenal Gland's going to hit 2. That's going to make it even harder. Big hit potential here. Oh, they hit almost the same grouping. A lot of those Zerglings do survive, but I think Thorzain is going to hold here.
Yeah, he still has to be cost effective in the next couple of engagements because, again, his income is less than half of that. He's only got 59 workers versus the 78 here of Killer, and just now going to be transferring those workers down to that 3rd base. But I think, Killer's game plan from here on out is just going to be to deny, and that's exactly what he's done here as his 3rd base gets taken out. The SCVs aren't even mining there. So unfortunately for Thorzain, just not much going right for him this game.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, caught off guard from the initial push in the first place. He's going to try to get a drop out, and I mean, that's super high hopes there. It's hoping for a miracle, and I'm not sure if that's what's going to be delivered. The fact that Killer has his ultras out just makes this look like a really, really tough game for Thorzain to do anything with.
Yeah, it doesn't have the upgrades he needs. It's about to finish 3-3, actually. Still, again, not sure if that's enough time. We'll be able to pick up 2 ultras here, it looks like. But the expansion, once again, that has so many SCVs and ultralists. They give hugs of death, quite literally, with that splash damage. Every single SCV is gone here. Well, I guess they're going to be friendly and allow those to live, as the drop is going to be doing a little bit of damage here. Killer, though, really should not be scared to try kill off these SCVs, maybe even go up the ramp. But I don't know. Can Thorzain do it? He's still about 60 supply behind.
Now Thorzain's drop is starting to do a little bit of damage. Killer's going to be forced to try to attack with these drones. That means some major drone losses are going to happen.
That's
but
a lot of drones.
Wow, a lot did get killed. How many up there? Look at that. Well, 16.
You got to remember, though, that's the first time that he's been aggressive. So if he can keep doing that, might stand a chance. Because you got to remember that Killer does not have that much money in the bank. Although I think that chance is going to go right out the window here in just a second, as the SCVs will eventually and finally be killed off. The majority of them, all of them but one. I don't know how Homie survived, but he is getting the hell out of there. And, the base count, the creep spread, all of that I think is just way too high. Thorzain trying to do another drop over here at this base, which is undefended, but again, he has to be able to deal with these ultralists at some point. Buying time is the only way he can do that. His only option is to continue dropping.
I mean, Thorzain sneaking these little drops in is great. Killer puts some swarm hosts inside his mineral lines to try to alleviate that. And I like that idea. We do see that base go down, and Thorzain does manage to regain some ground here as a result of these drops.
Yeah, I mean, actually killing off that one hatchery is pretty impressive right there. But you can see right now, Killer not going to be falling for it. He leaves just a couple units back for the drops. And really, it seems like it just freed up more supply for more Ultralisk here, as he does have 3 on the way. The +3 armor upgrade nearly done. Chitinous plating is done. That's going to bring the total armor up to 6. Which means you have to rely on Marauders as opposed to the Marines. A couple Widow Mines here. That's not going to do much. They barely even activate there. The Ultras just smile it off. This could be it. I don't think Thorzain has a whole lot left back at home. Even though his drops are fancy, it's not enough to give him a larger army, and he loses that 3rd.
I mean, it's amazing that Thorzain he's like fainting here. He's feigning here. He's basically saying, hey, I've got this big force in my front, but meanwhile, he's like attacking all around the map. Oh my god, the fungal hit those medevacs!
Does he have enough energy to finish him off? 1 goes down. Those 2 medevacs should be able to escape. He decides to go for the drop anyways. At this point, he doesn't have much of a choice, and we'll be able to take out another hatchery here. I gotta say, Killer is letting this do way too much damage. He's still ahead by about 100 supply, but I mean, once Thorzain loses this, look at his base. There's nothing there waiting for the backup.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think Killer realized he could have walked up the ramp and finished the game, and that was actually great by Thorzain. Again, kind of baiting his opponent a little bit, if you would, and these drops have been really, really good, but not good enough. The creep is, reaching the front of his base. He's reestablishing these bases in the north. And right now the supply 69 to 185. That alone tells a horrific story.
Yeah, and I mean, what's also horrific is the expansion. The 1 mining base Thorzain only has like 3 SCVs. I think too scared to even transfer more down there. So it is literally whenever Killer wants to press A and click in the top left of the minimap is when he is going to win, because there's just nothing left for Thorzain here. Taking a look at the units tab, I mean, there's 2 Marauders and 11 Marines. There are more Ultralisks than there are Marines, and that's going to be very difficult for him. And there's the fungals there. That's the end of the army. The last group of units may not even get to engage at all. Thorzain may continue to try and buy time right here, maybe punish Killer for being too passive, but I mean, there's really no other way to say it. More Ultralisks than ground units, and the fungals, the GG. Right there, Killer going out in style with that fungal, grabbing every single unit there. So Killer drinking that victory water. It tastes pretty good.
It does, and what a really fantastic victory out of Killer. I mean, playing to a potential that I can't wait to see what he has in store for us for the round of 16. It was great. Anyway, Husky, I know that matchup kind of caused us to get a little bit behind, so we're probably going to wrap quickly here. Yeah. What are your final thoughts on that series overall?
I got to say, Thorzain, one of the best foreigners out there, one of the most successful. Killer able to take him down, but he is going to have to make no mistakes coming up because there are so few foreigners left that he's probably not going to be meeting one in the near future. So if we can just bring up the brackets super quick, that would be great before we go to a break. Of course, this stream did get a little bit behind schedule, as you were saying, because that's got to be like the longest series so far in this tournament.
Yeah.
Especially that first game, or the second game, I guess, was the hour-long one, but all the other ones were about over 30 minutes here. So still, I don't know if any series has gone to the 5th game. I don't think there's been a single one.
I believe that was the first one that we've seen. And here we go, update of the brackets. Lenok eliminating Innovation. 1 Terran in the round of 8. Coming up next over on the Red Stream, Flash versus Rhett. And that, of course, with the Terran outcome potential. And I believe we have got Rain versus Jockji on blue, but I kind of just punching the wind and hoping I hit something.
All right, so we are going to go. All right.
Yep,
it's going to be Husky. Sorry, the producer was talking to us, letting us know that djwheat was correct, so good job there.
Thanks, man.
And it's going to be me and In Control. God, that guy is goofy. I guess us people from the Northwest are kind of weird, but either way, thank you guys so much for watching. That series was very long, so go stretch your legs a little bit, go stand up, and then come right back because there's going to be more StarCraft.
Absolutely. We made you a promise at the beginning of the match that a foreigner was going to win, and we delivered. Husky, we did it. We did it, man. Yes. All right, guys, we'll be back with more. This is the 2013 MLG Winter Championship. The round of 16 continues when we return.